I, we're recording you as well, Bjarne. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing this for us today. We're really looking forward.
All right, lovely. Shall we get started?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. You must remember that this GoPro challenge with ERIC WORRE was a 3.5 hour session online. And I've made loads of notes, so we might need to spread this over 2 weeks, but let's just see how we go. There's quite a lot, and I don't want to leave anything out.
You got it. I can't get any sound. I've got some. Oh, okay.
Hermione, will you mute yourself,
Okay.
please?
We've muted.
All right. So I don't see a. Oh, there's the share button. Oh, yeah, there's a share screen. All right. Let me just go close notifications on anything else. So what I would like to do is just make sure that all the things I share in the correct order. Let's just turn off my WhatsApp sharing as well, because it's the screen says shared. Everything will appear on your screen will be shared. All right. So all right. So what the first thing that ERIC WORRE said to us is that you must realize that if you invest in yourself, you become the asset. And that is really powerful to know. So become the best version of yourself, invest in yourself, because you are the asset. You're the asset to your own business. You're the asset to the company. And if things must have to get better, then I have to get better. I, as the asset, have to get better if I want things to get better. So he said that in network marketing, there are 4 things that we do. We sell, we recruit, we duplicate, and we lead. 4 things that we do. We sell, we duplicate, we recruit, we duplicate, and we lead. Did that screen come up?
No, it hasn't, Bjarne. But it's
Is that it now?
There it is.
All right.
Beautiful.
Okay, fantastic. All right. 4 things we do. We sell, we recruit, we duplicate, and we lead. Then he said, and this is what really got me going, and what made me realize that his training was for absolutely everybody. He said there are 3 levels in a network marketing career. 3 levels. People or network marketers who have between 0 and 10 recruits underneath them. Then from 10 recruits to 100,000 a year, and that's in any currency. And then from 100,000 a year to 1 million a year. So it showed you that it's absolutely anybody who could benefit from his training. And there it is. So 0 to 100 recruits, 10 recruits to 100K, and 100K to 1 million. And he said to us that it is absolutely imperative that you get 10 recruits. Because he said, if you want your business to grow, You need 10 plus recruits. It is the only way to start your business. He said, don't focus on selling. He said, your first priority is to get to 10, at least 10 recruits. Before that, you're not going to achieve anything. And he said, 10 recruits is not an accomplishment. It's only your start. It's only your start. In recruiting, your goal is education and understanding. Right, so he said, and then from those 10 recruits, he said, if you have under 2% of your recruits recruiting themselves, he said, your business is in decline. So say, for example, we're going to use an example of 10, just 10 recruits underneath you. If less than 2 of them are recruiting themselves, your business is in decline. If it's 2%, there's stability. If there's 3%, there is growth. And if there's 4%, there is momentum. He said, out of 10 recruits that you have, once you have those 10 recruits, at least 4 of them need to be recruiting themselves for you to have momentum. So then he said, to start with, focus on what's called your warm market. Friends, family, colleagues, and their network. And he said, do not fear rejection. He said, in fact, you must get used to it. You have to get used to it. And being rejected by your friends and family is pretty easy because they know you. Break the ice in a conversation with your friends and family by starting with giving with a compliment. And the biggest lie in recruiting, he said, is you do only what you love. And he said that is the biggest lie. See, recruiting companies will come to you and say, I've done only what I love and I've managed to do this. He said it's the biggest lie. He said, do top athletes do only what they want? Definitely not. And he said, if recruiting is not something you love, it's okay. It's quite okay. But you're going to have to do it anyway because it'll get you where you want to go. So suck it up and you do it because it'll get you where you want to go. And once you have those 10 recruits, and once you have at least 4 people in those 4% of recruits recruiting themselves, you're on your way. Don't lose focus until you have at least 10 recruits. So he said, in your recruitment drive, when you're dealing with your warm market, and he said they're actually more than a warm market, they're a hot market, right? Because these are people that personally know you. And he said, start off with calling everyone in your address book whose name starts with A, for example. And for that whole week, you just call people whose name starts with A. And the next week, you're going to call people whose name starts with B. And so he said, you got 52 weeks. You got a year's worth of, 26 weeks. 26. You got 26 weeks worth of people to call, and keep on calling people. And then he went on to say that he said, stop making your recruitment drive about you. And I was like, and everyone was confused. What are you talking about? And he said, you're a connector, not an expert. You will connect people to the expertise. So the expertise is the service, the product, a source, an expert source. He said, but it's not you. He said, get out of the way of your third-party tool. Your third-party tool is your expert, your expertise. And he said, he used several examples. He said, don't ever use your own words as a convincing tool or a technique. Don't be the fact giver. Be the fact connector to the third party. And the third party can be a whole lot of things. He gave examples of a third party, and there's a lot of them. So I'll share a pic of that. Examples of third-party tools. He says your product is a third-party tool. There's the company, the product company website, the distributor website, your upline, or somebody else. But remember, because you're not making it, you cannot make it about yourself. Don't try and do the convincing yourself. Use a third party. Three-way phone calls, you and your upline and the new prospect. Chats, text messages, articles about the product, printed materials, videos, audios, podcasts. There are so many. Zoom recordings, in-person events, two-on-one group presentations, small group in-house presentations, local events, bigger company events, the story of the product. And the story is yours or someone else's. Anything that's not particularly you. He said, you will not succeed in promoting something when you're using yourself as the tool. He said it's like a man trying to recruit a woman. Is a woman going to necessarily listen to a man? And he even said, is a black man going to listen to a white man? He said, stop using yourself, because he says you will not be successful. And you will only recruit people who look up to you. And I mean that for everybody, that circle is finite. You will only recruit people who look up to you. All right, so that was, and this is important. This third-party tools is, I mean, it makes sense, right? So then there are 4 parts in telling your story. He said, your background, what you didn't like about it. So you were working in corporates, you had fixed hours, that kind of thing, that hours you didn't like about it. Then you found a solution and how you feel about the future now. So after this brief intro, you introduce your third-party tools. So give your background, whatever you were doing, what you didn't like about it, your boss, your colleagues, the restraints on your time, the inability to earn more. You found the solution, you found near life, and how you feel about the future now. So in the war markets, he said, you asked, wouldn't it be amazing if your friends and family would support and promote you? So use them. And there's a method to that. He said, phone them up, message them, ask them, do you have a minute? And say, I want to thank you for being who you are in my life. Start with an icebreaker. Then, I've started a new business. He said, but don't worry, you're not part of it. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. But I want to ask you for your support just once. Not forever, just once. I need you to be a one-time customer and then give me honest feedback. And most marketing is just about getting people to try something just once, right? I mean, look at ads on TV. They want you to buy one thing. And with that one thing, they hope to make a lifelong customer out of you. Or he says, there's another approach. I have a new business. Don't worry, you're not going to be obligated to buy anything. But I'm nervous or unsure about my pitch. So can I practice my pitch on you? Then you do the pitch and ask for feedback. How did I do? What do you think I did wrong? What should I do differently? Then say to them, will you push me to be the best I can? Will you help me a little? Help me to achieve where I want to be. And the concept here is to have your closest friends be a wind in your back, not in your face. All right, so there's two approaches you can do, and that's for your hot market, people who know you very well. Ask them either to try one product once and give you honest feedback, and then obviously choose a product that is wildly successful, like the Super 10 or the Omega or the Pro Vitality when we have it again. Then he moved on to how to find prospects. Now, the first thing he said is don't be inappropriate, and that is quite important when you realize what he was saying. He's like, don't hand out cards at a funeral. I mean, it goes without saying, but choose your time correctly. And he said the big five ways to find prospects. Number one is your phone contacts. Every single one of them, every single name in your phone book. He said, turn off your brain and turn off your thoughts about every single person in your phone book. Do not prejudge them. Secondly, everyone in your emails. Thirdly, everyone on all your social media apps. So don't forget, anyone can lead you to your success. So your phone contacts, everyone in your emails, everyone on your social media apps. I mean, that's already hundreds of people, maybe even thousands. Then second degree contacts, the contacts who your contacts know. And he said, then network with a purpose. Those are the big five things. Network with a purpose. And your purpose obviously is to grow your team, to get at least 10 plus recruits, and to get at least 4% of your recruits recruiting. And then something which we're all familiar with, he said, every day chat to at least 2 people. Every day chat to at least 2 people. FAST stands for F, find people. A, ask questions. And you're asking questions like, how are you doing? This kind of thing. And every question you ask, you're looking for an opportunity, an opening, which will take you further. That's the A. The S is show what you have. And the T is track. And the track, after he said track, guess what he said, Monica? He said the fortune is in the follow-up. So F, find people. A, ask questions. S, show what you have. And T, track, follow up. And he said the number one platform for finding people is Facebook. The number one platform for finding people is Facebook. And I thought, everyone's moved on. Everyone's on Instagram now and TikTok and the rest of it. He said the number one platform for finding people is still Facebook. So then he said, it's a circle. It's a circle of a way to find people. As you find prospects, conversation, and in conversation you're asking questions and you're listening for an opportunity. The pivot is that opportunity where you pivot the conversation to a possible solution or a need that the person you're talking to from your conversation. The invitation, the presentation, you continue the conversation, and then you recruit. He said, and that's the easiest way to do it. He said, all business is conversation, but it mustn't just be business. Just chat. What's going on in your life? I saw you have a new puppy. Be normal. Are you still working at X place? All right. So these are opening messages you can send to 10 people. The 10 people the first 10 people that start with A in your diary, in your phone book. Then keep the conversation going. It doesn't matter how long it takes. He said it doesn't matter how long it takes. It can take 2 weeks, it can take 3 weeks. At some point, an opening will present itself. And when that opening does present itself, you move it. By the way, and this is, of course, that's the opening, right? At the right time. Or I can't get this idea out of my head. Or tell me I'm nuts if you think so, but. Or when we chatted, I remember you saying something about, that's the opening you're talking about. Or I could be wrong, but I think. And then, have you ever considered your own business? And when they say no, ask why. Are there fears of risk, fears of security, fear of funding, success? And then say, if I could offer you something without any of those risks, would you look at it? And even better, if you could start it part-time without giving up your current job, without those risks, and you do it part-time until it starts making you enough money to retire from your current job. So that's the, if I could offer you something, would you? It's the if I, and would you, which we know before. If you ask somebody, and if you ask somebody if you ever considered their own business, if they say yes, but it didn't work, you ask why it didn't work. And you go through the same process. The risk was too great. The security, the job security wasn't good. I didn't have enough funding. It wasn't successful. It might not be the solution to everybody's problems, but it's worth considering, right? So it's something that you could offer people that has zero risk, no funding necessary up front, and nothing to lose. And he said this process might take 2 weeks or even more, but it's okay. But don't go too hard, too fast. And intersperse with more conversation. Intersperse with more conversation. Keep the conversation going. Then the invite after the pivot is the invitation to a third-party tool. Send him something, send your prospect something, watch this video, look at this product review. Anything that's a third party. Remember, you're keeping away from you trying to convince somebody. Use your third-party tools. There was a whole list of them. Now, the invitation could be a direct invitation, which you would use for good friends, or an indirect invitation by asking for feedback, which is the most useful because it's respectful, but it's not forceful like you might be with friends. So with friends, you're going to say, I want this from you. But by asking by saying, I'd love feedback, it's easy. It's not forced. And a super direct invitation is disqualifying them from anything, but ask them for feedback or an opinion and ask them if they know anyone who might be a good fit. And by doing this over and over again. Quantity, doing it several times over and over again. And the quantity of the conversation is the only solution to about every problem you have. So in your quest to grow your team, to grow your business, you said quantity in conversation, quantity in the numbers of people you speak to. And then when we move from the invite to the presentation, or are you going to what you're going to present? He said, you've got to present in a way that is not about you. Remember, it must not be about you. So use your third-party tools. Use your third-party tools. And then keep the conversation going. Do you want to talk to your partner? Do you want to get some more information first? I'll message you in 2 or 3 days. And while you're doing this with your prospect, remember that every time you engage with them is called an exposure. And every time you engage with them, every time there's an exposure, the only purpose of that exposure is to schedule the next exposure. So give your prospect time to think it over. Say, I'll message you in 2 or 3 days. Look for any more opportunities. Send them memes, send them jokes, another third-party tool. Pepper the conversation, but keep it easy. And keep it going. And he said, you might have 20 conversations going on at the same time. I mean, if you can handle that. But the more conversations you have, the better. Then he said how to handle objections. There are only 2 types of objections. People who have limiting beliefs about themselves, and people who have limiting beliefs about the network marketing business. So he said there's only 2. People who have limiting beliefs about themselves, or people who have limiting beliefs about the network marketing business. He said it's a 4-part, and in handling objections, it's a 4-part solution process. First, you listen to them and their objections. He said because you listen to them on their objections because their issue is probably the very reason they should join. You don't have the money? I'll show you how to make the money. You don't have enough time in your life? I'll show you how to free up your life so you have enough time. That was the first part of the 4-part solution process. He said the second one is relate to them. I used to feel exactly the same way. You're relating to them. Yes, I had exactly the same problem. Tell a little story about yourself. Number 3 in the 4-part solution process is if I, would you? If I could show you a way to make extra money, would you be prepared to look at it? If I showed you the product works, if I showed you the support you have from the company, the training, the great experiences, would you check it out? If you've tried it before, network marketing that is, If you've tried it before and it didn't work, would you take a look if I told you that this company is different and that even you are now a different person than the last time you tried it? And then number 4 is connect them to a third party. I mean, the third parties are so important here. Don't make it about yourself. Connect them to a third party tool. Use those third party tools. All right. So I see it's 8:47. There's a couple of things to go through still, but so shall we just take that in?
Yeah,
And,
you've got 6.5 minutes, Bjarne. So do you want to pause it there?
yeah, I think let's you said, but we're going to go with 4. There are 4 top tips for recruiting. We're going to run through them quickly.
Okay.
The 4 top tips for recruiting. Number 1, believe in people before they believe in themselves. Believe in people before they believe in themselves. Tell them that you know that they can. Believe in people before they believe in themselves. Number 2, sell the destination, not the vehicle. You are the vehicle. Your product is the destination. Your business is the destination. Sell the destination, not the vehicle. The destination is their solution. So sell their solution to them. Number 3, don't overhype the opportunity and the product. Don't overhype it. Don't make it seem as if it's the answer to all their dreams. Don't be forceful. Keep it easy. And the 4th tip for recruiting people is for you personally. Do not have a plan B. Make this your only solution. Do not have a plan B. Make this your only solution. And then I'm going to jump forward just quickly to a note that I made. He said, ERIC WORRE said he's got loads of videos on YouTube, loads of them, which are free. So let's watch some of those before next week, and we can finish off the training and do a recap. All right.
Well, on behalf
Good.
of the group, Bjarne, I am so excited by your presentation this morning. I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody here. Thank you.
It was an absolute.
You're going to become our third party reference. We're going to be referring people to you.
But it was such an opportunity and such an honor and a privilege to attend one of these things. It was just amazing. I mean, he had 700 people sitting in front of him in the auditorium in Las Vegas, and I think he had 7,000 people online from around the world watching him. It was just. I show you one last picture to give you an idea of what he was. There's a picture of him, and you can, behind him was all the screens of all the people who had signed in from all over the world. It really felt like an amazing connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's an amazing. He puts it in a way which is easy to understand, and he has professionalized this whole world of network marketing, which we needed years ago, and he's done it for us. So I commend you. I appreciate you, and I don't want to say any more. I need to sit and take it all in. Thank you.
Sure. And he said himself he hated the recruiting, but he did it because he realized it was the only way he was going to grow his business. He said something like, there was something like 98% of the people in recruiting are tourists. He used the word tourists. He said only 2% are business builders. And that is just astounding. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thank you, Bjarne. Thank you. It couldn't
Lovely.
be clearer. It could not
Yeah.
be clearer. And we each have our own road to walk on this journey. And
Absolutely.
yes, and as we each grow, and I loved your starting statement, and I think that's where we end it, is when you invest in yourself, you become the asset.
Absolutely.
There was a time when I said to Rob, I'm out of this, I can't do it anymore. And he said to me, have you worked out how much money you have invested? I said, I haven't put much money into it. No. The amount of time you have spent has been the money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm very grateful.
Lovely.
I'm going to end the recording now. That's enough of me going on here.